Fellow Nigerians, brothers and sisters, welcome to the Man of Thought. Kolade, please help me reduce your phone or go to your room. Welcome to the Man of Thought. Before we proceed today, I would have loved to sing a song, our new national anthem, but I do not have a clue on how the song actually is being written. I heard one person on the way singing the song and he said, "This is not me singing it, oh. I heard it. Somebody sang Nigerian national anthem." Not Nigerian national anthem, because I felt the person was not saying the truth. The person said, "Nigeria na scam." I'm like, why will you say Nigeria is a scam? Nigeria is not a scam. We da 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 da. Verydarkman will learn in a hard way. Nigeria was probably a scam, but not a scam anymore. You know why we have to put the song that way? Will you go to your room? You know why we had to put it that way? Because we know that whatever you say in Nigeria will be used against you in the court of law. Law anatwaya, law anatukwa container. The law that holds the poor, that does not hold the rich. I greet you all, Nigerians. Nigerian law that grabs the poor and persecutes them, but liberates the rich. I greet you. I'm welcoming all of you to today's episode. On today's episode, I have somebody I will be talking about. And the person, we have similarities in many ways, but we have differences also. What is the name of this individual? My dear brother, my blood brother, my good brother. We might not be blood, but we are good. I'll call him, everyone knows him, he's an activist of our generation, Gen Z activist, Verydarkman. Verydarkman, Verydarkman, Verydarkman. Not quite long, I made a video about Verydarkman and Pastor Jeremiah on soap. Now I'm making another conversation on Verydarkman and Blord. Who is Blord? I don't know. But we heard that is into cryptocurrency. We heard that a lot of money was within this individual. But what is the bone of contention? Verydarkman came on live today and he was talking, not be today, sir, if he come. About yesterday or day before, yesterday, yes, Verydarkman came on live and he was talking about Nigerian police force. Why would they have made decision to release Blord despite all the petitions that have been written against him? And he admitted to something that he knows that the situation is a bailable offense, but he's holding Nigerian police force in a high esteem. When he said that statement, I'm like, Verydarkman. You have started becoming political here. What happened? What happened? Nigerian police force, you want to be holding them in high esteem. Me, I did not know. I do not know about holding Nigerian police in the high esteem. I have no clue about it. But I believe, before I proceed, I will talk about certain distinction between me and Verydarkman. The reality about me and Verydarkman is he sees things and he thinks he needs to talk about the things that are not right. Same thing is applicable to me. Now, when I make a decision to fight or to look at things and I say this is wrong and this is right, I am not seeking for anyone's approval. I am not seeking to buy the hearts of people. I try not to politicize things, even though I know that at the end of the day, I would have to fall under one particular side, which make it political, according to kuti. So when I speak for Nigerians or when I speak about Nigeria, I am not seeking for Nigerians to love me. No. And a lot of people, they understand this, that for the message to go across, you have to penetrate into the heart of certain individuals, so for them to get the message. And that has been how politics actually work. So Verydarkman as a person has always been seeking a way to buy the heart of Nigerian youth, because he knows something deep down inside of him, that if he continues to move in that direction, he would most likely be able to awaken the giant within the heart of the Nigerian youth. But you see, the problem is beyond what Verydarkman sees. The problem is that there's a drug they call CPM, or you can call the drug Puritin. Now, when you take these drugs, it makes you fall asleep. Nigeria, our Nigerian youth are in a deep sleep. Like, they are so asleep that for you to wake them, you have to carry them and throw them inside the river, just like Jonah. I believe that one of the story of Nigerians, if they trace us where Nigerians actually came from, if they are being careful, we most likely would have come from Jonah in the Bible, the one that went to that God asked him to go to Nineveh, and he decided to go to Tarshish. And when he was trying to go to Tarshish, he was on a boat trying to run away from God, and storm started moving within the water. Jonah was sleeping when everybody was afraid. That kind of human being that can sleep when a boat want to turn upside down, everything is moving left and right. That's the kind of sleep Nigerians are sleeping. So maybe Jonah is our ancestors, part of our ancestors, because we are so much deep asleep that to wake us up, you have to throw us inside water. In fact, shark has to swallow us for us to even know what is happening. The only time Nigeria wake is when the hunger has destroyed and killed a lot of families. That is when they open their eyes and do like, oh, this is what is happening. But if you think that just speaking to Nigerian youth and saying, I'm fighting for my people, I want to open the consciousness of Nigerians, if you think Nigerians are going to wake up because of that, oh, you're on a long thing. You do your part, because it is your responsibility and it is part of the duty you have decided as a person that this is what I want to do, regardless of the support of Nigerians or regardless of them not supporting me. And that is my stand. But when I look at Verydarkman, he speaks in a sense, he has the right mind, but the reality is that sometimes he does things because he wants to awaken the people. Nigerians are not people you try to wake. No. You don't try to wake them. Just keep doing it. They may catch up along the way. They will fall aside. They will catch up. They will fall aside. That's what they stand for. And when he make a decision and he says he's holding Nigerian police in the high esteem for releasing Blord, and I know indirectly what Verydarkman was trying to insinuate by that statement is that Nigerian police force shouldn't have released Blord. Just go directly and make that statement. That Blord, who has been accused of cryptocurrency fraud or something like that, shouldn't have been released by the Nigerian police force. Just say it. But you are holding them in high esteem. I do not care what anybody will tell me. I don't hold anybody to high esteem, most especially not Nigerian police force. And here are my reasons. My reasons are, the law of every country is only effective due to the law enforcement. How good the law enforcement are determines how effective the law of the government or the law of the nation is going to stand. And if Verydarkman, he has experienced jail. Me, have experienced jail. Kuti has experienced jail. Inside these people who has actually experienced what jail is like, we have one thing that we can say due to our experience, and what we can always say is that most people who are in custody or who are in jail are actually there regardless of the fact that they are innocent. Who brought them there? Do you think it is the complainant that was able to make innocent people live in jail? Or do you think it is the law enforcement that even knew the truth and still make a decision to manipulate a lot of information and make sure people come to jail? Which of the two is true? Verydarkman has the answer. I have the answer. Kuti has the answer. So praising Nigerian police force and saying we hold you in high esteem, and Atuka container. I do not care if people support and they say, oh, we appraise you, you are doing what is right, or you're not doing what is right. I see it clearly when you are playing such games. And for you to truly fight for your people as a Nigerian, you just have to be interested in saying what you see and what you are convinced within your heart that is true. If you are not convinced, don't say it. You don't necessarily need to have evidence. You can use through the playbook of what is happening within the nation and you speak on it. Some people will support you. Some people would not support you. At the end of the day, you will learn certain things. Am I the one at this stage? One person will be telling me that they are holding one people high esteem. You know, there was somebody that I was close to. They are this kind of politicians that I also know one way or the other. And I asked a particular politician, I was like, I want to know the reason why corruption is much in this country. And the person gave me a different perspective that I never thought about. And the person said something. You know what he said? He said, people think that Nigerian politicians are the most corrupt people in Nigeria. He said, the only reason why a lot of people think that Nigerian politicians are the most corrupt people in Nigeria is simply because these are the people that the world is seeing that are the celebrities that are making the money, that are showing off resources. He said that is why people think that politicians are the most defrauding people or scammers or fraudsters or the most, what other name would they call it? The most corrupt people in Nigeria. He said, no. He said the most corrupt people in Nigeria are the civil servants. And I asked him, I said, can you push further? Let me even have a clue of what you're saying. He said, for example, look at our estates. He said in these estates, most of the real estate organization would go and bribe who? The civil servants to manipulate a lot of things. He said when you take the law enforcement, maybe you take a complaint to the law enforcement, who manipulates it? Is it the politicians that manipulate it or the civil servants? The civil servants are those people who actually work for the government, but they are the most corrupt people. But we point our fingers to the politicians because the politicians are the ones who show the flamboyantness of the wealth due to certain corruption. He said when they give the money to most people to do certain things, he said most civil servants steal more than an average politicians. There could be an atom of truth, but when I looked at it and I dissected it to a certain degree, it made a lot of sense to me. Now, comparing that to my own personal experience, to most people's personal experience, what time do we stop this NSAS thing? What time did we talk about police brutality? Police brutality just reduced. The corruption did not stop. Go. If you, their locations till date, a lot of Nigerian police people, when you're going everywhere and you're traveling in the night, a lot of them still collect bribe. I do not believe that the man at the top would not be aware. The question is this: if some, let us assume some of Nigerian police force are corrupt, what are the things that are being set in place to make sure that Nigerian police? So let us look into the life of Blord. Blord was being accused of fraud. I don't know what is in the petition, but just according to what has been pushed to the public, what we can assume is that Blord is being accused of defrauding people. Now, if there are evidence to it, which what Verydarkman said was, we taking these things, before I got to the police station, I realized that a lot of people has also written different petition against this person. And if people have written petition against this individual, and that means there are a lot of petition against him, within the period of 3 days, why was this person released? If I can make a decision to release you after 3 days that you are being detained, then that means your offense is nothing. But let us look at it from this different angle. If a lot of people are writing petition against a particular individual, shouldn't that make the Nigerian police force or a law enforcer to make sure they hold that person and do not give the person the chances to most likely run away? Or maybe because they've given the person certain bail, or maybe the person promised that he's going to refund the money. But the reality is that what is the update that the law enforcement are probably assuring the people who have written that petition that this person will be back, and what the justice they are seeking for, they are going to get it. So Verydarkman came online and he was saying that by next week, Blord is going back to the police custody. And initially, Verydarkman said something. He said, Blord, you have been apprehended. This time it will be difficult for you to come out of this place. Where you have found yourself, you most likely would not have the opportunity to come out. You will be going to jail for a very long time. That was the words. I am not paraphrasing. That was the words of Verydarkman. Within 3 days, they've released Blord. And now Verydarkman is saying, I'm holding Nigerian police force in a high esteem. High esteem Anatwaya. High esteem Anatukwa container. High esteem in what area? Why would you owe certain people in a high esteem, even due to your own experience that you can see with your own eyes? You that make a complaint that came on live to tell people that, oh, I probably saw certain people in jail who were there simply because of a lot of law enforcement manipulating the system, because our justice system is not accurate, or they are not diligent in what they do. Now you want to come here and you want to start holding them in high esteem. Are you trying to buy the support of the Nigerian police for you to do activism? If you want to be an activist, you don't necessarily need to fall on every side. You only tell what you see. And if you are praising the people who do not deserve the praise, then that means you are trying to also participate in the manipulation of the system. That statement, I hold Nigerian police in the high esteem, that words look manipulative to my own ear. Because I do not think Seun Kuti will say it. He will say if anybody does something wrong. We are not talking about real corruption or real crime. If somebody does some petty things, they wouldn't report to Nigerian police because we know what happens. If the small guy does something, the guy might go to jail for a very long time. There were a lot of people while I was in jail who were actually there just because they stole wire. They stole copper wire, and they were in jail for 2 years. Someone stole copper wire, and they are in jail for 2 years, 2 years straight. Such offense shouldn't have more than 6 months imprisonment. And in the 6 months imprisonment, the individual is not supposed to serve more than 4 months. But because somebody stole copper wire, you are going to see them in jail. They are there for 2 years. So for Verydarkman to say you are holding Nigerian police force for in high esteem, that starts sounding corrupt to me. You can't buy side in the truth. The truth does not have any side. The truth only explains itself the way it is. Do not put anybody in any high regard. I do not depend on Bola Ahmed Tinubu to change Nigeria. I hope that the people would open their eyes and make right choices next time. Because all the suffering that we are going through, do we deserve it? We made the choice. If we made the choice, we deserve what we choose. The result of our action is what we are seeing. Do we want it? No. But we were not patient to do our digging. We were not educative. We are not informative. We know the truth, but we decide to be tribal. We know the truth, but we decide to act in certain way. We know the truth. We decide not to make certain choices. We made the choice that we make, and we get what we get because of the choice we make. An activist does not pay attention to the law enforcement. An activist does not pay attention to the politicians. An activist does not pay attention to the religious people. An activist does not pay attention to the supporters of his people. An activist pay attention to the truth. And the truth is only what matters. Apart from that, nothing else. I laugh at the swear that Nigerians will start swearing very soon on my page. Why is this boy talking like this? This boy, who you be? You are trying to attack it, blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. So for them to have granted Blord bail and for him to come next week and all of that, a lot of magic would happen. I believe that. The possibilities of a lot of magic happening is there. If you don't see it, that's on you. But I think with that being said, if we have to focus on the truth, we have to leave everyone aside. It is the duty and the responsibility of Nigerians to catch up to the truth. We are not. Anyone who decides to speak the truth, it is not your responsibility to make sure you draw certain people along because most people are not willing. They will praise you when you say things that are true. They will praise you when you say things that support them, their own ideology. But when it is for them to take the responsibility and to do the same thing, they run and they shield in fear. In Nigeria, we have a lot of elders, but those elders only survived because they were cowards. They ran from everything they were supposed to face as people. And then we see them and we say they are elders. And then you want them to advise us, so we listen to them. And until Nigerians begin to look at our history and hold certain people accountable, the moment we begin to wake up as people, that's the only time we are going to get change. Any other thing is a scam. In a nutshell, Blord, Verydarkman and Blord, Verydarkman and what did they call his name? Obi Kubana, or what did they call it? Chief priest and the rest of it. All these things, sometimes I think they are getting too personal. And the bigger picture is the law enforcement are probably not doing what they are supposed to do. That's my own estimation. That's how I view it. And we don't need to buy them. We just have to speak up the truth. Because if you're trying to buy them at the end of the day, you are going to find a way to offend them. Because how these things play, we know it. It is who have that works out free. our court system, our justice system, you are in prison not because you don't have people that will stand for you or something, but the kind of things that might be requested of you, you might not be able to afford it. And a lot of people go through these things and they deliberately use stuff like this to hold down a lot of people just to punish them. I personally experience it from real estate organization. Hack, view, investment. Hack, view, investment. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel if you like the truth that I spill out. Thank you very much. See you in my next video. Adios, amigos.